Well, it's a beautiful good afternoon and I'm waiting patiently for the rain to start. Been trying to fix my gutter here, which is why the ladder's out. And of course I won't know until the rain starts properly, because I didn't want to be pouring water in because there's all kinds of glue and stuff there that's still setting. So, managed to get all the grass cut, all the grass that I wanted cut. And I'm going to show you how it's turned out in the stone circle, because I'm thinking to myself it's looking fantastic. So I'll walk over this way. Lots of bird song. Oh, I'll be so happy when it rains, because the ground, the earth has become very, very dry. And it's only the fact that there's so much intense planting here that has kept the moisture in. Because of course you can imagine the sunlight trying to get down into that bed. It is very intensely planted. So the bees are out happily, they're working away and collecting all their pollen. Now, I was reliably informed by my daughter the other day that this is red campion, but it's a sort of a variety of it apparently. It's come up really well this year, because I've been going along just pulling the occasional, strong weed, should we say. So the dock leaves, I've been cutting those back and just letting this little flower expand her territory a little bit. It's really very beautiful, don't you think? Seems to have sort of little double floret leaves on it, little petals. So it's taken years now for that little plant to get established, I can tell you, because I put that in, more years ago than what I can remember. It must be 8 or 9 years ago. But yeah, it's finally achieved its own little space, which is lovely. So, go over this way. You can see that little mower is worth its weight in gold. Done some great mowing here. I'll show you around this way as well. Down there. And along here. So we'll just trip up to the stone circle. Just see the tunnel. Be happy when that rain comes and I can really get to work watering that tunnel big time. So I've made some little vegan treats. I'm going to be making some tea when I go back in. I'll show you my little vegan treats. I've left them in the fridge just to set. I don't have a recipe for them because I'm very much a throw it all in there kind of a person. But I will at some point put that little recipe in the book, some book, whatever, or a blog or something, okay? So I will actually take the time to do the measurements. No, it's gone very still. There's virtually no wind. The sky is very overcast, but it's not too dull. It's just very overcast. There's this promise that's turning into a bit of a threat in terms of rain. I think we're going to have quite a deluge, which will be wonderful, because all my little drains here are cleaned out. They're all ready to go. You can see. So this is where I was cutting the grass. Now this is very rough territory up along here. There's still quite a lot of holes and bumps here where the cows were years ago. But I think you'll agree with me, this is looking much better than even with the Patron mower. So this little push mower, this little hand mower is absolutely fantastic. Now I took the grass box off and literally just mowed and left the grass clippings on top, because that will of course feed the grass coming through. And the same here with the stone circle. So it cuts really quite close. And yeah, isn't it fab? I've also planted 2 clematis here in the stone circle. So here's one. This is exactly the same as the one I have on the front wall of the cottage. It's Clematis montana, which is a very vigorous one. The same one as is growing on the little willow arch behind the big Buddha in the Lunasa garden. And then almost opposite, I planted the other. So you can see I've just started to twine it up there. I've just put some cord around it just to keep it in place. So I'll just sit down here for a moment and admire the view, all the hard work. Well, actually not that hard, because with that little hand mower you can stop whenever you like. It's not a big deal. You know, when you're using all these gas guzzling tools, if you stop, you know, the engine cuts out and then you've got to restart it and prime it and, you know, so on and so forth. And of course they're very heavy as well. Whereas this little yoke I have is very lightweight. And you wouldn't think that from the amount of work that she's managed to do. Amazing, isn't it? Oh, look at this big baby. You're a big baby, Jack. So, there we go. I think he might have a little tick on him. Sometimes Jack gets little ticks on him, which I don't mind pulling off. It's no big deal. Yeah. So I'll get to that later. So there we go. And I put a few little calendulas under the oak tree. And that to me sounds like a little biplane. It is. Now, I also want to say I think over the past week, I've had 2 little envelopes come through the post, and they're totally anonymous. There's no name or anything attached, but I want to say to those 2 lovely people, thank you very much. Yeah, it's always intriguing to get an anonymous donation. But anyway, thank you. So, I know that rain is on the way because the little midges are out, and when there's this kind of climatic condition where we've had like weeks and weeks of heat and no rain, it's always an indication that something's about to happen, when after all those weeks and weeks of no rain, and hence no midges, suddenly the midges alight. So it's as though they can sense that moisture in the air, the moisture that's coming. So, which way shall I go? Straight home or round and about? I think round and about. So there's nice little clumps of daisies here and there. Oh, I've got the hiccups, which I've left. And the oak tree now is well into leaf. The spread on this is gorgeous. This is such a classic shape, and I didn't prune it or anything like that. I never do with trees unless there's a branch or something getting in the way. I did cut the leader out, which is why it's then kind of branched out and got this beautiful crown on it. But you can see from the girth, it's going to be a mighty oak. Very happy there. All the dogwood's coming back on now. That had a very severe prune during the winter. I hadn't cut that for years, and I really got into it and pruned it right back. So it seems to be quite happy now. So there we go. You can see all the flowers out in the chives there. So I'm going to leave you with the beautiful campion that we started with and say blessings to you all.